a bit of specific training with Professor.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
It was fun. It was nice to do it specific.
Oh, I'm missing training so much right now. It's crazy.
How's the knee feeling?
It's okay, actually. It's getting better. I'm going to start doing some like squats and stuff in the next few days, hopefully, just to start strengthening it. So
RB,
Oh.
too.
Sounds good.
We've got RB there as well. No, he doesn't have a microphone turned on right now. Oh no. Yeah. So we're going to give it just a couple more minutes, just for a few more people to arrive, and then we can get going.
You guys having anything special planned for the weekend?
Cleaning up the cupboards.
That is something to go outside.
Spring clean.
Yeah.
You know, I think I have planned Netflix
Yeah.
and and maybe some Netflix later too.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some variety. Hey, Paul.
Hey, Paul, how's it going?
Hey, how you doing?
How's it going, guys?
You're sitting. It looks like you're sitting in darkness. You got the window behind you, so we
Oh,
just.
hang on, let me turn that around.
Oh, there you go. I can see you now. That's what I'm talking now. But now we can see you, Paul. There you
Hey.
go.
There we go. How's it going, buddy? That's really good. Just wait a couple more minutes, guys, so we can get a few more people in.
Yeah, we didn't do too bad with our kids class this morning, Paul. We had 24 connections, but
Wow.
lots of kids with brothers and sisters and
Moms and
We
dads.
joined-
yeah.
We were on YouTube. We were watching it on YouTube. We were doing it on the YouTube thing.
Oh,
Oh, that's
cool.
cool.
Yeah, we
So,
did notice there were some comments on YouTube. It's one of the things that we obviously put the feed out to YouTube as well. So we're just trying to keep on top of that side of stuff as well. So yeah, I'm just looking at the YouTube feed now. Yeah, there you go. I just heard you on the YouTube. So, is that because we're old now, Paul, that we call it the YouTube?
The YouTube, yeah.
Yeah, the YouTube is for old people.
But when you're really old, you say Google it on the YouTube.
Oh, nice. Okay, I got you.
Google it on YouTube.
On the YouTube.
I'm surprised people even using Googling. It's a good plus.
All right. Should we get started, Professor?
Yes, let's get going.
Okay, Coach Caro.
Oh.
You can do the 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 this time.
Okay.
Oh, we're all gonna have to do our better.
I'm gonna do it. Sorry.
Hello, guys. So thank you very much for joining us one more time. We're going to keep into our schedule, having a good time. It's going to be a perfect opportunity for us to discuss some techniques. And for those who's got partners and you are ready to train, we're going to have a good session together. Okay? And if you're alone, don't worry, Paul. We know we're going to make some specific drills that you can do by yourself. All right? Nice one, guys. So feet together. Let's get started, guys. Ready for star jumps? Let's go. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Squats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Push-ups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Star jumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Squats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Push-ups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
On your back, 20 jumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Leg over your knees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Switch sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Triangles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Hip, head up and down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Looking to the sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Ears to your shoulders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
And bridges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6, 7, 8, 9.
Hip escape on your spot. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Ready for break flow. If you're careful with your floor, if you have a hard floor, don't go too crazy. Okay, let's go. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Nice one, guys. Sit up, put your right leg forward, reaching for your toes. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Switch sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Both legs forward. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Butterfly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Splits. Elbows to the ground. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Now turn your legs, work backwards and forwards. Go down and stick. Go back slowly. Back and lift. All right, everybody. Okay, so how we're gonna work? I'm gonna practice with.
Simon, do you want
It's up to you. I don't mind.
I'm easy.
You like?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna keep an eye on things.
We're gonna get Coach Carrot here to be partnered with me today. Okay, so what I'd like to make out of this session here on Saturday is trying to pick up the most relevant information and trying to create a little bit of a review sort of thing, but giving you all the opportunity to practice with us. Okay, so the first part of the session we're gonna work on is gonna be on the guard pull. Okay, so this guard pull that we're gonna work on is gonna come from the opposite collar grip. So it's not called a sleeve grip. So one side the person gets for the collar, the other side, there we go. I will break the grip on this side. So this is the same side. I will be breaking and I'll keep the cross sleeve, see? So once I'm getting this grip break, I have a nice snatch. So by leaning back, keep my body straight, making tension so hand kind of slides down a little. At the same time, I get the pressure of the break in a straight line of my muscles, which is in a straight line from my pec. So here, boom, I can break nicely. I will bring her down, causing her to lose the posture a little, but I will snatch over her back. There we go. Once I get this position here and I reach the top, I'm gonna adapt to the guard pull by circling and bring my foot on the hip. So she's gonna try to protect her back. When she does it, foot on the hip. See? Nice, I got a good tension here. So I can circle to the other side for you guys. So it's important that when I have the foot on the hip, I have to incline my hip the other way around. If I do it just by rolling to this side, it's very easy for her to just pass my guard either side. So she can crush and pass my guard. So it's important that if I have this foot on the hip and I have the belt, that I incline completely the opposite way. If you think about the typical guard pull, look, imagine if I have the collar and the sleeve, it would be the same. So the difference is my grip position. I have a collar, so belt and sleeve, but the angle of my hips is perfectly the same as an average guard pull. Okay, now how this is special is because I have unorthodox grips. The person who is receiving this position, they feel a little bit uncomfortable because by controlling the hips, I can shoot triangle, shoot away. And if she tries to defend the triangle, she blocks my hand, my leg, I will be able to circle anyway, having the control of her posture. And I will now look, pull her arm, even use my hook on her leg to stretch her to the back. I'm able to attack the back. So if you think about it, all begun from here. 1, 2, I go around her back, she circles, I let her circle, and I have the guard pull start. See? As I get the position, I automatically snatch the leg from triangle. So it can give me the perfect position to lock. But what defines triangle versus guard is if she actually delivers the defense. If I go over a come, no worries, I drop into the hip, and I use my hip escape and the arm expression here, look, pulling the belt and stretching the arm. See, this hand pulls her forward, and this hand pushes her arm away. She loses the balance, and I can get the back. Okay, now, things to relate to. Okay, this is a position where once you engage the brake and the control, you have to have a few directions here. You need to know if you win the back, you should be able to capitalize by taking the back and take her down. She then will always protect that back by circle. But if I still can get it, I will. First things first, okay? So if the back is the closest position for me to succeed on the progress of the game, I will. But now, having this clear understanding what it is progress, okay, is knowing that, okay, if I'm standing, or I take her down, or I go and take her back, okay? Or maybe I get a submission with wrist locks and a few other things. So there's submissions I can attempt. But usually, if I go to and think about submission, I'm trying to jump a few steps. So it's important that I cannot jump too far in order to get a submission. I always respect the order of control, which is or take down or go around the back. So reason why getting around the back is good is because once I'm here, I can try to figure out how to take her down again, or I could already attack the back take from here as well. So again, I'm progressing in stages. But why did I decide to pull guard in this case? Is because she was doing a good job of circling away from me. There we go. I'm too far away from her back. Okay, now give me the chance because her hips is going away as well. So for me to read that circling and I get the foot on the hip. But now, if I try to put my foot on the hip, but my hips is too far away here. Look, I might have the foot, but I'm too far away from the guard. It's important that my hip moves, see? And now I land on the opposite side of the hip. But in order to accomplish that, I need to drop my hips and let this foot off the ground. Because if that foot is stuck, actually my whole hips is stuck. So I can't really drop like this really well. So I have to trust and look, let it off, let it free. And now everything I will relate to is having the belt collar, belt grip, and sleeve. No matter what happens, even if I circle back to the center, I still have a very good sleeve and belt control. I can push the leg. I can use the hook on the back. Look, this hook goes underneath. When that hook goes underneath, look, I can take her balance. Then I can work the belt, the back out. So it's a kind of a worth technique to have like a sleeve on a card on your sleeve. To every time when you have that winning, you can really put an orthodox guard pull. Most people get completely thrown off by that one. I watched Roger Gracie competing against Xander Ribeiro in the Pan American Championships a few years ago, maybe a few years ago.
2009, 2008?
Maybe something like that. Yeah, maybe before that even. And then he basically he got a tap. Roger tapped Xander in 30 seconds. It's just a moment of guard pull straight to triangle. There was no time to argue. Just like a super quick one. But because it was a completely unorthodox pull. But if you think about the way the technique is developed, it makes total sense. Okay, because you're respecting the concept of guard pull. You're putting the leg on the same side as you control the arm. Okay, but then the attacks becomes a completely different version. So it makes it makes you think. So with this part, we're gonna practice now, guys. With this understanding, we're gonna go to practice. So if you got your partners, you can just practice 3 by 3. You practice 3, your partner does 3. And if you are alone and you don't have anybody to practice with, you're gonna have to just work it out a little bit of a difference over here. You're gonna have the leg that you wanna pull guard in front, okay? This is the leg you're gonna go and use. You're gonna have to adjust your hips. So you're gonna circle with the step, and then you're gonna put the hand on the floor. You will see that when you do the step, you have to turn your hips in a very different angle here. And you do that part and do a technical lift again. There we go. And you do this one more time. So front leg is the leg you want to pull. You circle the leg, hand on the floor, and put the leg down. Okay? You can have the guard from that, technical lift down, up again. So 1, technical lift, and down. Circle and pull. Back. There we go. This is an orthodox. Normally, you would use the back leg to pull guard. The back leg to pull guard. In this case, you're going to use the front leg to pull guard. So to get the front leg pull guard, you have to step and make the front leg the back leg so you can do it. So that's what we're doing, a little switch. Good. Got it, guys? Let's take a look how you guys are practicing over there.
We got the Herberts on. So you've got Paul practicing his solo drills. We've got the Herberts. Everyone else has got their cameras turned off right now.
You do the step, there you go, hand on the floor, and take just a normal pull. And then just get yourself off. You got Phil there as well. You can see Phil watching the class. It's good.
Yeah.
There we go, guys.
Hello, guys.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Philippine.
Hey.
Hey, Steve. Beautiful view over there, buddy.
I think that's just a virtual backdrop.
Yeah. Right.
I think he's sat at home. I think he's pretending.
I'm still at work, so I just snuck on to have a look at what's going on.
Nice one, Carol. There we go. This is the trick here, guys, because what we're trying to do is to have the reference. So for those who have a partner, guys, for those who are watching, remember, we came from a snatch grip. And she protect her back, protect her step. Leg around. I can go into triangle, or I can go into close guard, and I can already attack the back. This is something that I have done with you guys in the past. You guys who are training with us, I can see lots of experienced guys on the mat. You've seen that before. But what I wanted to kind of be relevant is if I have the belt and I have the hip, can you see when the person's creating a strength on the legs, and maybe you're struggling to pull, and if you're feeling like your hand's about to pop, because that's what I feel like it happens a lot. People begin really well with the grip, but they feel like their grip is gonna break. And then what happens is because the person who is standing is offering you a good posture and is making your grips fail, But remember where the posture comes from whenever you're in this position. It comes from head legs. Okay, so as I'm pulling guard, I feel like I can't really pull guard very well. I always go and break the legs. Look at this. Push the leg. Oh, look at the difference. She's gone off. Now she's dead. The other leg becomes a little hookier. Look. Push the arm. Stretch it. Look, straight away. I can get a back take. And then you don't need to be attached to only that version of the technique. You can start thinking that, man, I can't break. I feel like I can't. Look. Hook inside, catch the leg, and completely change to an X guard. But you can see that one thing you have made, you have accomplished the fact that the person has to fight for posture with the legs really heavy, and they have to keep the legs quite open because if they have narrow legs, they're kind of falling. So wide legs and posture means heavy legs, space in between the legs. So I can take advantage of that. And the arms usually is just that to clear out of the way. Because if I went to throw my legs underneath, the person has free arms, they can stop it. But if the hand is away, my hand can do the job. So we're gonna go for time now, guys, that we got the drill. I'm gonna get 2 minutes in each side. Professor Simon, can you time it?
I can. 2 minutes, Professor, yeah.
All right, guys, so Coach Carol, can you do the solo drill?
Sure.
And then I will correct the guys over there on the video. So let's go, guys. Solo drill, remember to do the half step. So step.
Ready,
Hand on the
steady,
floor.
go.
Nice. Come back to the lift. There we go. Let's go, Glenn and Corey. Let's take a look at you guys. Break the grip around the back. He turns, foot on the hip. Nice. Keep that nice triangle there. Very good. Very good. That's really looking well there. Try to keep that grip as much as you can, Corey. Even when you pull guard, you are hanging on your dad, even if you're not touching the ground. Try to even keep your body attached to him, even if you're not gonna fall on the ground. Try to do that again. Go, keep that grip on the belt back, really good. So stay hanging, hang on that grip. Now push the right leg, push the leg, push, push. Come on, push, 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 push. I know you want that triangle, don't you, Corey?
Yeah,
Can see it. Nice one, guys. Guys, I know many of you guys doesn't have the camera, and I know that you're not practicing. And let's try to create this at least an interactive version of it. Maybe you have a challenge. Maybe you've been challenged before here. Maybe you feel like you don't get a good angle there. Maybe that is a topic. Maybe the break of the grip into connecting with the belt. Maybe something that you guys can relate to. Throw questions. Don't hesitate. Unmute yourself and just talk. This is like home, guys. Now you guys are. This is an official class, but you guys have the access to ask anytime, anything, okay? Let's go, Carol. Good work, good work. Very nice, Paul. That's really good. Keep practicing that, Corey.
15 seconds to go. Good job, Coach Caro.
I think I'm feeling those bunny hops that
From
we
the
did
kids
in the
class,
kids
huh?
class.
Oh, man, she did like 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
minutes, like jelly.
Yeah.
That was a killer.
Maybe I definitely work out today.
That's your workout.
And time.
Nice. Switch over the other leg now. I can do the other leg.
All right, guys. And 3, 2, 1, go. 2 minutes. If you're with your partner, swap over. Who's doing the guard pull? Got a few more people with us now. Patrick's with us now. Hey, Patrick. So, quarter of the way through now. Good job, Professor. Let's keep up with the work, everyone. One minute and 10 seconds left to go. Very nice. 50 seconds. Keep You've got the good work, Paul Dawn. Let's keep working. You've got to get a little bit sweaty, buddy. Working off all those lockdown snacks. 30 seconds left to go, Professor. Fifteen seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Good job,
Okay,
everyone.
guys. Good work. Good work. You know, I was actually thinking, you know, how can we make this session active? How can we make this session productive if you're alone? So, and I think, okay, maybe jiu-jitsu is more pleasant with a partner and more pleasant with you know, sparring. You got a lot of things going on in that space. But I'll be honest with you, if we go on, be honest with ourselves and start to noticing the little holes you may have on your coordination. You know, each one of you guys here have enough understanding and enough feeling to know that maybe your body doesn't turn very well in some places. Your body doesn't react so well in some areas. And this is exactly the opportunity if you can make use of that. You know, you can be as simple as standing, working on a hip throw, you know, from actually getting a dummy, like we have here, our friend, and do things. Okay, I'm gonna go arm drag, hip escape, can go back. Now I'm really good, I'm really bad to this side here, so I'm gonna go here. 1, and try to use things. Go in mechanics of the legs that you don't do very well. It could be the entry of the hip throw. It could be the armbar. It could be a foot base, a de la riva, if you have a partner to work on. You know, make the most out of the situation that you might not be on your perfect environment, and you can actually improve where you actually don't feel so good. If you can either do hip throws, leg positioning, you know, that's a shadow movement. Like, you can make so much to shadow movement. Imagine, it's all about imagination, you know. I go into my zone, you know, myself, and thinking about breaking the grip and going around, going around, you know, those things. You can go break, go around, and boom, into the hip like we did the other week. You can do it all alone. Look, you go break, going around, and boom. There we go, that's your drill. But how about doing the other side? Every time I go the other side, I know my body doesn't feel great. So perfect opportunity to train your body in another way. So you go 1, and you go into the position. Now, this is the moment I feel off. I personally feel off. Now, if I'm gonna have to do this, first time I did it, I was going for my offside and I felt really off. This is last week when we were still in GB2. And now I was doing it again. My body didn't think as much anymore. I knew I could have the mechanic because I've done it. Like, I practiced only once for about 2 minutes. It really reminded my body because I can teach my own body, you know? And because you know the technique, you just teach your other side. It's almost like your other side is like a white belt. As a white belt for a day, maybe second day, you maybe turn to blue, I don't know. Depends, as soon you bring to your own belt level, you know? And then you do the same, look, 1 and around, and now is the moment I have to get the collar. I go here, look, 1, and I go, boom. This part step for me here is really off. If I don't even think here, 1, and I go, bam, bam, boom. I go in. Here, I go 1, 2, 1. It's a bit weird. I'm not sure, even if I'm doing correctly, but I can guarantee After, I can get a few. It's time to go. So hip doesn't work as much. If your hip ends, but your body doesn't turn. And that's when you can go and go. And like this, your movements will improve. And you can always do that with other techniques. All right, guys. So this is the part. So I'm basically, with other words, I'm encouraging you guys to, if you have the chance and the opportunity where you are, if you're not alone. I know some of you guys have kids, hard to do with kids around, you know, or if your kids doesn't train, if your kids train just like as a kid. If your kid is not old enough like Phil, just watch, that's fine. You know, do what you can, but don't worry. Don't be self-conscious. Just, we can make good training, you know, if we can just try our best, okay? I'm here, Barney, myself, I'm actually working out with you guys. So if I feel like I can work out, I'm sure we can all do this. All right, so quick little water break for those who've been training, and we're gonna move to technique number 2. Awesome, guys. I'm gonna mute you guys so you can
Unmute or
yeah.
do you want to unmute?
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, everyone's unmuted.
Hello. Hey, Phil.
Hey, Phil.
Good to see you guys.
Bye. Ciao, ciao. Bye.
Is our film there?
Look,
Ralphie, he's napping at the minute.
He's napping.
He's not studying up on his jiu-jitsu.
My only problem with when I log into the Zoom meeting, I have to do it from the office room, which has the hard floor, and I got a grappling dummy in the bedroom.
Oh.
Oh no.
Haven't you got your phone? Can you do it on your phone?
Oh yeah, I haven't actually tried that. That's good.
There's a Zoom app on the. You can just download from the Google store. There's a Zoom app, and then you can just log in, and you can watch it from your phone.
Nice one, guys. And then this is the part where it's super awkward, right? It's a super awkward kind of training, and we together we can probably feel how we can make those sessions be more efficient, you know, and so we can truly get a burn or a positioning, an angle that you can practice on. You know, you can even embrace, like embracing this idea is actually, it can be very productive, you know, let's embrace. I'm actually on the beginning, I'll be honest with you, the first few sessions, I was like, oh my God, how am I gonna do so many sessions in every week? How can I keep everybody engaged? How can I actually make this a productive session? That's the question I've been asking myself since the first time I came to teach online. And to be honest with you, I'm actually doing every session, and now I'm embracing it because I actually had no choice. So I'm basically sharing with you guys that maybe the idea of embracing is key. You know, let's try, you know, put your uniform on and clear some space. Even if you have a concrete floor and you have shoes on, it doesn't matter. Like I remember like when I wasn't going to tournaments and we didn't have warm-up areas, we used to be with our kimonos and with our shoes on, and we used to, you know, just work it out, movements and ideas. It could be like a wrestling drills. It could be like combining some sprawls. And we are going to do this within every week, every topic of the week. We're going to evolve and work different things. So I'm just giving you a little bit of a motivation there to embrace if you can. I'm not, you know what I mean? I know everybody has different realities, but if you can try to give your best effort to practice with us, it'd be amazing. Okay, so going forward, we're gonna go and work out a few things from the close guard. And I did work close guard, I did work open guard, De La Riva. I did a few things this week, but I'm gonna touch again on the lapel game I was discussing with you guys on during the week. So good job. We end up here in the position where, guys, we got there was a sleeve with a belt, and then maybe I got close guard and Carol managed to pull the arm out, and we got ourselves into this position where I have a belt. Maybe I can continue to explore the posture break from here because I still have it. Maybe I go double hand on the collar, bring it close. And one of the things about hand collar is so simple, guys. Not hand collar, what I'm talking about. Hand grip, like a belt grip, is that the belt moves a lot. And sometimes it's hard to maintain that grip. And if you think about it, you grip on the top, but if your arm, for example, I'm gonna do this side. if your arm is here, but my arm is going around the triceps, I'm not really controlling her shoulder and she can easily posture from there. And then the belt slides, and that's what I had. So imagine if I had a loose belt anyways, like this. But my arm has to be heavy on her shoulder. So I grip and I bring close to her head, and my elbow, I pull the belt as far as you can, and I bring my elbow in front of her shoulder. Can you see what I'm doing now? So please, Coach Carl, can you just write the posture? And then I have the other hand, look, head, hand to hand, change. And then she might want to do the other one, I change to the other side. And I keep heavy on my shoulder. And she's gonna feel the pressure. Even when she postures fully, she can feel the massive weight pulling her down. And I'm not even pulling her down, just keeping the grip. And then I can bring my knees in, I can start to go hand to hand, keep heavy on her shoulder again, see? Now both shoulders are together. And that's a big difference. And now is what I can probably try to explore here. Okay, I'm gonna start exploring to this side over here. So once I can start to move my hips to this side, so I can actually pull the lapel off. Look. And once I have the lapel here, I'm gonna use my knee, guys. Why do I use my knee? Because my hands might not be strong enough to stretch. So I use things like here, knee, and I go push the lapel so it gets a really good tightness in, and I pass to the other hand. And now it's a little bit of a grip fight here. Now what I want to do is to start weighing everything to the other side. I can be here close guard, we're straight. See? And now that I'm here, I can start then to use my foot on the opposite. See? I use my foot, but it helps when I have my hips turned. And now notice what's happening. I have the foot on the lapel, but my arm is on the inside. So what I tend to do is to put the foot on the lapel, grab with the one hand, so I have the cross hand, and I hug my knee and grab what I had before. And now that I have that, can I just circle to the entire please? See, I have the arm supporting my leg, and now that I can push this up, I can actually use a little bit of a push to bring my knee, and now I can just square everything up. Now, as you can see, Kyra's arm could have been inside my armpits here when the arms get strapped, or could be on the top. Whatever it is, I make sure that I at least have a sleeve control here, because I know that once I make space and I have this sleeve, it's up to her what I'm gonna do. Here, I can quickly throw the leg and attack the triangle one more time. But you probably can see this already, that she might feel like the arm, she wants to move away. That I stretched, she tried to take the arm away. Look, I grab the triangle on the other side. So you basically have triangle on both sides, if you're really smart about how you set it up. Make space, oh, triangle goes. I try to go triangle this way, and she moves the other arm on it. I just bring my foot down and triangle to the right side. I go the triangle. And now, what's the critical thing about being here is to knowing how to maintain posture, keep the belt, or even have the lapel, and use this hand. You know, grab something. I like the belt because should have that sweat low, and I got it. It gives me a good connection. If the belt doesn't do it for me, it's okay. Maybe we can get a wizard. You can start working with the wizard. So that's not a problem. I can make it up, but you need to control somehow her posture. What I don't want to do is to be here and gives her the posture from here. She will posture really heavy. I don't have nothing. I need to have some sort of control. So it would be the belt. It could be the wizard. So when I'm there controlling, she tried to posture again from there, and maybe give me the perfect chance to fight the triangle straight away. But ideally here, give me the chance to bring that knee so I can push and pass the lapel to the other hand. When I have the lapel to the other hand, I continue to respect the same idea of pressure her shoulders, so she doesn't posture very easily. And that's what I want to do now. Keep that tight. Now turn my hips and look, boom, attack and pass the hand. Now that I have this time, her arm is actually trapped underneath here, and it'll be very easy for me to push and push the triangle on this side. So you have to make a decision where it goes. If I don't have the full control of her arm, I will make more smaller steps here. Foot on the hip, turn my hips, and I'll make one smaller steps. But if the arm is strapped, I can really expand this because her arm is strapped here. And I got a triangle. And thank you, Kara. So that is a pretty nice, I really enjoy this lapel game because it doesn't just does the work for me as in a way of attacking, but it does the work to defend if I ever get out of the guard or the person managed to break away from me. I still have some level of distancing and everything else. I think we have 2 comments.
Yeah, one of the ones just saying hello.
Sorry.
There might be another one. I just want to check the other one. Yeah, nothing to worry about there.
Okay, so nice one, guys. As we're saying, so we can have this opportunity to practice. I would suggest on the grip, on the solo drill that we're going to work on, we're going to do something slightly different to what we were doing just now. So this is the technique, but the solo drill, imagine you're in a close guard and it's hard to get a triangle and imagine yourself in this position, okay? But what we can do in this case is to think about the stage that we had with the back take. So imagine have a collar and a sleeve or the belt and the sleeve. You're just gonna go into a position where you're gonna hip escape and you're gonna push the hand down as you're gonna come up. But to come up, sometimes you need the rocking of the leg. So you can go there. See, you got a grip, hip escape, and you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you switch to the other side, you know, and you're gonna go to one side. Is the idea of coming up, pulling the hand across. It's almost like a Russian sit-up. Is a Russian? Like when you pass it across like this.
Oh yeah.
I forgot the name of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, something I think is a Russian sit-up. I don't know. I forgot. So here you go, control, and boom, and you go again. Go again. Good. So you're using the rocking chair with the hand across. Go. You can go both sides. You can play around with that, see? And you get a good burnout on your workout on the abs, but you're also connecting with the technique we did earlier. And for those who have a partner, you can just go there and practice 1 by 1 or 3 by 3. And for everybody else who are there and not really doing the move, I'm just trying to fill the void with try to create a breakdown or a better understanding on how we can use lapel, you know, on the guard position.
Professor, could they practice using the belt or something?
Yes, I think the belt could be another one that you can practice as a solo drill. Like you can kind of create a bit of a feeling, the same feeling here. Imagine you just have the lapel here in your head. So you're gonna have the lapel and you have to have that and boom. So you go there, push the lapel to that side, make sure you got space because if the lapel is here, you have no space for the leg. Make space. Imagine this lapel is the arm. You go through. When you go through, you should triangle. And you can make it nicely and effective here. So go close guard, nice and tight. Knee inside, you go. Boom. Knee inside. 1. Oh. Knee inside. Oh. That's one way to work with your belt as well, to do more specific solo drills with this technique that we just practiced. Okay, imagine here, one more time, hip escape, lapel, knee in the middle, knee in the middle. So you're gonna push, so you got space for this leg to go through, and you bring the leg in, the lapel in, foot again, hip escape, knee inside, push, and you can use that shoot as well. You can do a bit of a you know, like a normal technique, like a normal, and you can get things like that as well. So this is another option for the guys who are working with, you know, just watching us and not practicing at the moment. We can create a little bit of analysis on that. You know, I can probably anticipate for you guys what is the issues that we have on those positions, right? The issues is when you're trying to use the lapel from close guard, when the person's heavy, it's hard to move. It's not that easy to kind of get the triangle straight away. It's important to kind of win the little stages of the position and find your leg position that goes into the lapel in a strength position. And what makes a strong position, and I always can tell you this, is a straight line on your knees. What happens a lot of the times when people have the lapel, they put the leg that way and they're trying to push the lapel from a perspective of the knee being bent that way. And this is a very weak push. So using the side muscles here, the IT band to get stressed, your knee gets stressed. So having the angle, adjusting your hips, so you can have the lapel more in a straight line, you have more power, but you gotta make sure that sometimes this is not overused, because the same way as you have the power to stretch better, it means that you give a lot more gap for your partner to just move around. So having that push sometimes is just enough to bring that knee on the inside, okay? So if I push here really tight and I bring the knee, it's just to get that knee, but sometimes that knee will be stuck as well. And having that understanding to adjust your hips, play the lapel and sleeve guard. Here, when the person moves, you can dictate or you can curl. You dictate or you can curl in order to get a triangle. Let me see if I can get lapel. If I can get rolling you here. No, I can get this over here. There you go. So it's pretty much the idea that when I have the lapel here, let me see if I can get this lapel from this kimono. If I do this, guys, it's a miracle, okay? With this dummy, it's a real good dummy, man. So yeah, close guard. For me to put the foot there, I gotta have a good hip position. Look, hip escape, and this leg is curling, nice and tight, so I don't lose. And the person sometimes will crush or try to push all the time. So having something holding the person in until I can get that. It's easy enough to put your foot in with your knee bent. That's why this is not that easy to do it like that. It makes it really awkward. So I suggest to put like this. So then you have the lapel there and your knees out. But I don't go and straight away try to get a triangle from here. I make a hand switch to that one. And again, put the hand around. Now that I have the positions right, and this is what I was talking about, having like the overuse of the lapel. Because you can do so big push and the person has a lot of space, but usually when somebody is threatened by this arm, they tend to crush me. So I get crushed in this position here. So having the sleeve control, use my knee, adjust my hips, win the angle and become like a sleeve. So a lapel and sleeve guard with the knee in the middle. Anything from here, the person's actually under pressure. If they move or if they try to stay. If they try to stay, I have a lot of push for that. If they're trying to come up, I also have a lot of drag from that. I can pull the person in. So then I can dictate the angle, the time, and boom, I can go to the angle. I can be here as well, knee inside and attack the omoplata. You know, there's a lot of little things that we can use from there. Actually, that was not that bad, but just keep coming off the heat here. That's the only side negative feedback for the dummy. If you're gonna try to use lapels, it comes off, but it gives you a little reference of what I'm trying to say. Do we have any questions, guys, for those who are not practicing but you're watching?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear Phil.
Yeah, I was going to ask you this yesterday at the live study, actually, but sometimes I go to this position from close guard, real similar, but without the lapel. I was going to ask you about what I like to try to do is thread my foot under the far arm and basically do the same triangle, but with the by hooking that arm rather than the lapel. And I was going to ask you about trying to any tips to get the foot into that far arm.
Like a
Yes, like a wizard grip or just a belt grip as well.
Like yeah, almost all the way up to the Williams with the big overhook or.
Yes. I got it. So you're talking about being here, Phil.
Yeah.
Where you're gonna have the grip here.
Yep.
So here is the part where you're trying to figure out a way to
So I tried to push the right arm, or if they try and push my leg with their left arm, yeah, then I try and get my foot under, and I feel like I should be able to do it.
Yeah, this one here.
I go with the left leg under around the back.
So there's is this leg at the back here that is normally the thing that actually hooks this far arm.
Yeah, you're trying to hook this far arm here.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Yeah.
So you're thinking about. So the question is how to get this better, or how to.
Sometimes I can get it. Sometimes, but not always. And I wondered what might make the difference.
Okay, I got the question now. So basically, if you think about what's going on here, the person when you get this William grip here with the collar, the person is trying to square me up all the time. And I personally feel when I'm in this kind of position, before sometimes I might not even have that knee through yet. Okay, I might be in a close guard position. Everything started from there. So be able to have a bit of an elbow pressure or even push the armpits here. If you think about here, my hand, Phil, I can put my hand on the armpits and push the armpits through so my knee can slide on the armpits. And now in this case, I will forget about that option that you just discussed. I will focus on the fact that I want to square up, and usually the person tries to hug me around here so we can have this kind of reference here. Now, if I'm going to use anything related to this leg to attack the opposite arm, will come from having a bit more hip escape and having the foot here. That you have probably the same option to go triangle. But to do that position here, you will be more likely to counting a person mistake when the person tries to circle the head, the arm back. So then you can try to go one and attack this arm. But personally, I feel if I want to get this, I will have to be more controlful by having the foot on the biceps, and you can stretch. And then you can have that even with the two hands. You know, and then you can use that, which is almost like a scarecrow that Professor Dracolino showed us.
Exactly. That's exactly where I've been doing it from.
Yeah, so you have from that position. So my position here, my reference is having that foot, that stretch to be able to reach it. Otherwise, you struggle quite a lot. Personally, I feel like I need to wing this a bit more. And then I go, look, one. And go with that to back it up. You go hand to hand. Put the head down. You know, I feel like this is what I would do to win this position. But because I like to finish things as soon as possible, when I get the chance, I feel like we might be inclined. I would be more inclined to attack the triangle here. If I can get my foot so far, I just get triangle there, personally. But if I have the position here and I can't take this foot out, I will be also focused on pressuring a lot the head. And then from here, I will develop the situation. But now, that is one thing. They hide the head, correct? Now from the omoplata and still have the foot trapped over there, maybe I will be able to trap this way and enter the other side.
Yeah.
Sorry, Simon.
Oh, that was my favorite.
So look again, Phil. I got the omoplata here, but remember that before I went to omoplata, he had my foot trapped. My foot was trapped, okay? Now I can focus on my hip and forget about that foot and go to omoplata. Now that I'm in this position, I know my foot still something he wants to keep. He wants to keep this tight. So if I go here, one, turn and lift, and try to attack this one over here, I have a chance to use this technique from a different perspective, see? Then I can go there. Yeah. That's my shoulder.
Paul is joining us on YouTube. He's got a question, if you don't mind,
Yes.
Professor. He said, if you have the lapel and your opponent is trying to get a hold of your hip to get their control back, would you still keep the grip and try to attack from a different angle? Does that make sense?
Let me see again if you have the lapel. Well, Paul, how's it going, buddy? I would definitely I would keep the grip, trying to create distance, and I will always maintain my safety mechanism in check all the time. You know, if I have the foot on a lapel where we had before, the person might be leaning forward, they might secure my hips. Even though if they might secure my hips, I have a very good grip here being in this position. So if you think about this, and the person, let's suppose they go there and they keep my hip tight, I would definitely spend more time using this lapel to try to expand the position by turning my way. See, sometimes being close here with my head, I have a lot of tightness in my body. But once I start to move my head away, I got space, I can collaborate with my hand, then I can push the lapel, then I can start to prioritize a different type of technique, see? And this position here, Phil, as well, you can start connecting with what we just said by using the lapel. You can start to use the lapel to kind of going, look. You can go there too. Using the lapel, because I would use the lapel as a way to distance myself from the hip. Because they were trying to drive in, and I'll be trying to turn myself away. See, more hip I have away, the better. So I have much more space for the legs.
I find that with the Williams guard, that bottom, this foot here on this bottom hip, people want to flatten me. So I use this here to keep my side angle when I'm using that Williams guard, and that helps me free this a lot easier.
100%, because once you put the foot there, you can push from it, and your hip can be isolated as well. You can push yourself from that. The problem is when you don't have that and the person's hugging. That's the only problem we have, even from the Williams grip.
Yeah.
So you hear the person's hugging my knee, my foot's not going anywhere. I can't use it. So having this reference of being here and extend, trying to put pressure so I can bring my knee inside. Look, slide, and the person never gonna give on me here. They're gonna dive forward and keep the grip super tight. And this is where I feel like, guys, we can be a lot more stuck sometimes. The person's not gonna give for free from me here. They know they're compromised by this arm here. First of all, so you will try to square and go over my knee here. They want to go back to this position. So my battle here is to win the side. So if the person trying to circle me back, I have to make sure I extend, see? So that is a good position to have. And now I try to go, move my hips. See, when I have my hips out, it's much harder for him to keep hold of that leg. So then I can use different things. I can pull the leg across, omoplata, you know, and then becomes a different position.
Can I ask, Professor? Whenever I do the Williams guard, people shove the leg on the hip into the space and basically make it like almost a half guard.
A half guard position.
So I end up the underway, and then they pass. They pass because it's not got that barrier. Would you put the foot on the hip first to?
Good question. So let's say I got the Williams grip again. Now half guard only happens if you're sideways. Okay.
Yeah.
If you are actually being here, number one. See here, my leg's there. My leg had to open. He has to control, and my hip never addressed it. Yeah. The more I'm sided this way, I'm in trouble. This position, it works if I'm actually creating an expansion here. Now, if I try to go over my leg, look, it's too far away for him to go and get half guard. That's the only time I insist my hip that way. So if the person is trying to do something like that, look, I can do, and also get sleeve here. Look, push, break. But let's say they're doing it again, go. Okay, you might want my foot, but I expand and I pass the leg across. Sorry, so again. Look, then the leg comes out. Yeah. But if my leg's head is here, and then it's a problem. Having the head here. Look, again. Yeah. So the angle changed. The guard pass is no longer where it was before. Yeah. Now I have space for the leg.
Thank you, Professor.
You're welcome.
It's almost time, I'm afraid.
Yes, already time. Look at me. Oh, it just flies. Jesus.
Let's have a little look here. Yeah,
we're able to interact with you. Thank you, Paul, for the question. That was good. The questions really helped us to really explore. And I know, guys, don't be shy with the questions, okay? And so I'm going to unmute you all, give you the opportunity to talk just before we go to the finish of the class. We got Duncan Bashford as well over there. Duncan. Hey guys, let me see your faces. Steve, you left the beautiful view, huh?
Yeah, but just to show I am at work.
That's a beautiful view, guys. It's beautiful. Hey, Sydney. Tava fazendo os drills ou tava deitado na cama? Hey, you got a microphone silent. Hey, Gavin.
Hey, Victor.
Victor, I have a
man.
question.
No, Steve's question.
Is there anything we can do to help our grip strength whilst we're at home?
Simon has a perfect drill for you guys.
Oh. I'm gonna do up this bottle. So guys, a water bottle, yeah? Arms out in front, hold on to the water bottle and you just start rotating. I did 2 minutes of this. Coach Kara and I did 2 minutes of this on our Thursday GB1 class and I still can't feel my arms. Okay, so this is a great one to do. You just keep rotating.
But in a more specific note to Jiu-Jitsu, you can actually get your own gi and you can hang on anywhere and you can just do everything grip pulling.
Yeah.
Okay, you can have your gi on anything that's heavy and you can do things like pulling. You can do things, pull-ups. You can do pull-ups on that one. You can put like anything, even a dumbbell with something to wrap, right? You can put like a monkey grips as well on your. I always, every time I go conditioning, they put my grips fat grips.
Yeah, there's something called fat grips.
So you can make the grips like really hard to squeeze.
Yeah, I've got those as well. So you're gripping onto everything like that. So if you've not got a huge amount of weight, it doesn't matter. But you're having to squeeze in a different way.
Yeah, I used to do a lot of gripping exercise when I was competing. I used to do my pull-ups, my all the body exercise with the rope. I was doing a lot of rope. Anything that you have to squeeze a lot to do it. If you have a rope, guys, like those that you can attach to a car, you can just boom. Nice, that helps with the grip and also your whole body. You can do like pulling a sledge if you had a sledge, or you can attach to something, you just pull it in, maybe a sack of potatoes.
A small child.
You have to use a bit of creativity there to try to figure out anything that you can relate to the gi. I will definitely make use of that. And I was gonna suggest something as well. Simon, how is it going with MJ and Coach Rob strength conditioning program?
So what we've done is those guys put together a home like strength and conditioning workout. So it's got mobility, trunk exercises, and then all around strength and conditioning exercises. We're just waiting for one final video to be made because there was one video missing. Once that's made, all the videos are up on our YouTube and we're going to give you guys a document, and it's a 4-session a week plan, and you just work your way through that, guys. So it's something that we've got the document ready to go. We've got basically every single video uploaded to our Gracie Barham Nottingham YouTube channel. We're just waiting on one last video. Once that's up, which will hopefully be the early part of next week, we're going to release that document to you guys so you can work on your home strength and conditioning as well.
Guys, honestly, it's a very serious program. If you stick with it, doing your conditioning program, and then you have your jiu-jitsu connection here, man, you're pretty much set, pretty much set to go through this lockdown unwind phase. Your body's going to be, because all this opportunity that we have to chat here, it's more than just learning new techniques, it's just learning ideas, discussing, and you'll be free to talk, guys, because this is not just a fixed session. Whenever we got to this level here, we understand that you guys are in different environments, but we can talk, we can discuss, we can talk about things sometimes that are not necessarily technical, maybe mentality, maybe you can ask questions to each other as well, because there's several people in this lineup here that has great understanding. They have particular ways of doing it and specific skills. So let's make the most out of who we are here. And Michael Johnson is listening. MJ is there. That's it, man. And basically, we're gonna also pass it on. We're gonna have a session with Professor Felipe Della Monica on the online.gracie platform. Again, all of you guys have free access.
It's 9 o'clock tonight.
9 o'clock tonight in the evening.
Yeah, 9 o'clock in the evening. So, and then the clocks go forward tonight. So that's going to change things. Our classes are going to be at the same times, but the US, their clocks move forward a bit earlier in March. So what that means is all their times are going to be pushed back. So the 7 o'clock sessions, which are Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, are going to be pushed back to 8 o'clock. And the 9 o'clock sessions are on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, and now going to be pushed back to 10 o'clock. The good thing is tomorrow at 12 o'clock PST, there's a Baja Fit session with Professor Vivi. She's sort of been a major pioneer as part of the Baja Fit movement, and she was very heavily involved in the development of those programs. And she's going to be doing that. So that's going to be 12 o'clock PST, which would be 5 o'clock now, but because the clocks are changing, I think that'll be at 6 o'clock tomorrow night. So if you guys want to get a sweat on, get yourself on online.crazybaja.com, 6 o'clock tomorrow night, and you can get yourself a Baja Fit session in.
Nice one, guys. And what else? Also, tonight's going to be a specific talk on the online platform as well. There's going to be a talk.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to be on it as well, 5 o'clock. We're just going to have a few people globally. It's going to be more of an entertaining thing. We do a cup of tea on the side. And we're going to have a bit of a funny chat. And maybe it's going to be something pretty exciting to discuss. And for the world of Jiu-Jitsu, I think it's going to be myself, Braulio, and some people from all over the Gracie Baja. I don't know exactly who is going to be there, but I assume Flavio, Dracolino, and a few other people from Gracie Baja is going to be there as well. Okay, guys. So just stay tuned. And thank you for listening to us. And we really appreciate the connection. So we're gonna quickly finalize the class, guys. So thank you very much one more time, guys. So quickly bow to the Master. Bow to each other.
Bye.
Carl. Thank you, guys. See you guys later.
Thanks,
Bye,
Professor.
guys. Take care.
Thanks. High fives, high fives, high fives, high fives. Take it easy.
Thanks,
So,
everyone.
guys, thank you, Paul. Thank you, Phil. Thank you, Ina, Steve, Carl. Let me see, Filipino, Harvey, Emily, Sydney, Duncan, and everybody who was there earlier today as well.
Okay.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Nice to see
Thank
all.
you. Bye bye.